Please switch to the project progress sheet and let me quickly explain how this one works. The progress sheet is very tall and it's very wide. I'm going to explain how this works. All students are going to see the progress sheet together. So every student is going to take over one of these rows. So in my first period class, for instance, one student is going to take over this row. Another student is going to take over that row, and a third student, and fourth student, on and on and on, all the way down through first period. I have left you enough space to put, I think, 25 students in first period. You can add more. There'll be another lesson that shows you how to add more later. Then there's second period, then there's third period, and I've populated this with fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then I've made an area for independent study. I don't know if you've got students who don't meet during a particular class period but do independent study. Here's where you can organize them. And I keep track of my students who have dropped out of a class. And I have this credit recovery eligible section. So when a student withdraws from the class, I just move their row down here so I can save it for later. If you don't want that, you can delete it. And at the very bottom of this sheet, I call this the master row for copy and paste. I'll come back to that later and explain what that's for. For now, I'm going to scroll all the way up to the top, and there's first period. You might not need all these rows for your classes, but that's fine. Before I explain this, I'm also going to now scroll to the right. The way the project manager works is, remember, all students can see each other's progress in this class. Pretty soon, all these percentage calculators and level calculators are going to be changing constantly as students make progress through the course, and it's going to be showing a real-time snapshot of the percent finished that each student is. This isn't personal information. You're not sharing their grades or anything like that. You're just showing the percent finished that each student is. It's really a motivator and a way for students to remember the purpose of this is for students to monitor their own progress. You want students to become more self-sufficient learners and more in charge of their own progress. It's a big part of flipped learning, and in a hybrid classroom, the more tools you can give to students to empower them to make their own decisions and realize their own place in the class relative to everyone else, then the more they're able to step up and make those smart decisions about whether or not they're behind or ahead and how fast they should be moving. This is also a great way for you to see quickly and easily who's slipping behind or who is seeming to have trouble, and it helps you focus your attention on where you're going to be able to do the most good with students. So the project manager, again, it's built to try to help you create a differentiated learning classroom where you can help the students at the moment they need help as they get it. Another thing that the project manager does is, if we start scrolling to the right, you can see there's columns for each day. Here's day 1, day 2, day 3, and I've gone ahead and made 90 days worth of columns for your class. I don't know if you're going to need all those, but there they are in case you need them. You can just delete any columns you don't need later.